I want to start with physical items like this drill. Let's say that the only physical item I know about is this drill. I've just got my body and this drill. If I store this somewhere that I know, there's two aspects of it that are important. One is that if I ever want to use the drill to work on the project that I'm building, I know where it is because it's just a drill. I easily remember, oh, it was right there. But the second thing is that if I put it somewhere where I'm always around, then I see the drill and it reminds me of the project, of working on it, because I don't have a all-encompassing mind that is aware of everything. I'm very limited in focus. And seeing this drill put somewhere that I cross by normally, it reminds me of the project and itself intrinsically. Now, something changes when I have a lot of physical items. I have a drill, I have a lamp, I have a fan, I have all these things, and it gets to hundreds of items. If I store them all in one place, then it loses both of those qualities. It doesn't completely lose it, but it becomes harder to find. Now when I want to use the drill, now I need to, where even is it? If everything's important, nothing's important. So now it's hard to find, and it diminishes that quality of reminding me of the drill, because I'm reminded of everything. I just see everything and I don't remember the importance of the project. Those two characteristics I want to think about now when it comes to information. Physical objects still, but ones that convey meaning. For example, this picture of Las Positas College. Again, if this is the only picture that I ever have, the only information that I ever store, it has both of those qualities to the max. But as soon as I have dozens of these photos, then those problems start to kick in again. Now, another thing complicates the situation because we have the photos, we have stuff like my journal where I have text on paper, but then we enter the territory of these modern mediums, such as this piece of plastic with tape. And even if this is the only thing I have, it still has no meaning. Even if there are no other dozens of things, this thing in and of itself, what does it even mean? It's just a piece of plastic. It's not until I take this and put it in a device that can read it that it starts to have some sort of meaning. So that even complicates the situation further. These tapes, this hard drive, for example, even though I know where it is, it still is just a black box. And what's interesting I thought of was that these film negatives are kind of right in the middle of those two. I can still tell that it's my office desk, but it's not the thing itself. I need to use the enlarger or the slide viewer. So there's these concepts. Then there's strategies, such as if I have dozens of documents, then I can take them and put them in these categories, for example, these folders. But then that takes away at the second aspect, which is that I can see it and it reminds me of something, because now I don't see the paper, I see a folder which has no reminder. So with the digital mediums, with all these information mediums we have, I want to think of the strategy to make it work for me. Now, looking at the situation today, people are taking photos of every meal they eat, of every place they visit. They take 50 photos of just one birthday party. And a few years later, many people cannot even find a single one of these items. Even if they tried for hours, they could not find it. And not even can they not find it, but of course it has zero of that second aspect, which is the reminder of the thing itself. It reminding one of itself because it's physically present. Now, there have been, for example, on the iPhone, it sometimes shows random photos from years ago. So it tries to have that second aspect, but I don't like the approach. And on the contrary, we look at, for example, my grandma. She still has her journal where she wrote about meeting my grandpa. She still has their wedding photos. She still has photos of this and that. My dad, he has this box full of film photos and all these prints that I can just look through from decades ago. And they still have it. But now, with the newest technology, we're really struggling. So, of course, the new technology has a lot of benefits, especially in areas like remote access, being able to be in another country and see files that are stored at my house, because it's, like teleports across these cables. And the amount of storage that can be stored on these digitals, being able to store terabytes, that's insane amounts of data. So they have amazing benefits, but I think that I want to be inspired by the traditional methods as well for both of those categories that it excels in. And these tapes and film negatives are an interesting middle ground, because we get into that area of not being able to see the thing itself. But at least it says Parsa 2. I look at it and it says Parsa 2. It's a physical object. I just knew it was in my dad's closet, and I know that if I plug this into a device that it will show it. I don't think I have that with the data disk technology, with like the hard drive. So that's my endeavor for now, is what system can I make so that it's very searchable, to where I can think of that one photo I took with my friend when we went to Six Flags, and I want to see that photo instantly. But then it also excels in the second area, where I can just open the system and be like, what do I have? What are the files that I've stored? And I can then start to narrow it down from there. That's something I'm curious and looking into.